Alright, I'm making some teriyaki sauce here from scratch. So I've already got 2 cubes of frozen garlic in there. I need to use my frozen stuff, so I've got the equivalent of ginger also. And teriyaki is very simple. It's garlic, ginger, pineapple juice, and soy sauce, about equal measures. And turn it on. And it calls for light brown sugar, but since I do maple syrup, I just use maple syrup. And we just kind of pour a little in there. I don't know, 2-3 tablespoons. I don't know, I don't cook by measurement no more, haven't in years. And that, with some scallions out of the garden, is going to be the teriyaki sauce for tonight's noodles. So now that we've already got it boiled, and it's boiled, so what I do is I'll take it and I'll pour it into a jar. Because the good thing about teriyaki sauce, what you don't use, you just stick it in the fridge and go from there. We want to make sure we get all the nice garlic down in there. And teriyaki sauce pretty much keep indefinitely. So if you don't use it all at once, just put it in a jar, stick it in your fridge, and it'll be good to go for the next time you need teriyaki. Okay, earlier I already prepared sushi rice. So that was rinse the 1 cup of rice until it runs clear. And then you put 1 cup of water in the pan, you start it to boil, and then you turn it down on low, and it simmers for 20 minutes. And then after that's done, you set it off to the side with the lid on it, and you let it set for another 20 minutes. So it's ready to go. And you never want to just jump in there. We got to turn this over. You always want to cut sushi rice out because you want each individual grain to keep it and retain its shape. And if you're scraping it, it's going to mash it. And that is just 1 cup of short grain rice. Any short grain rice will do. Now, if you want to know how they get it so tasty, you have to, a lot of people put sugar in it and salt. I just go with good old rice vinegar, no sodium, no sugar, sugar-free. You always want to use the back, and it's just a little bit. You just want to go around like this, and then it's in there. And in order to mix that up, set that over here. You take it and you just turn it like this, and it will break up the individual rice, make it not so sticky. Now, if you wanted to roll sushi, this is the rice to use. The only thing you have to do now, it's seasoned. So then I'll take it and I'll transfer it into this bowl. And you know, in Japan, when they're training their cooks to cook sushi rice, they have to cook it for like 3 to 7 years before they let them even touch cutting fish. But we do things different in America. And then we got our sushi rice ready, and we just cover it. And that's going to stay hot until everything else is finished. Now, I also like some fresh mussels, but we are landlocked in Indiana, so they sell 1-pound packages of garlic and white wine mussels at Kroger. I think you can find them at Walmart too. We tend not to try to shop at Walmart. But if you're doing this, you want to make sure all that frozen stuff in the package with the mussel gets in there. Because we're going to put this back here. It's going to take 8 to 10 minutes. We're going to turn it on high. Toss that on there. And then I always, when I'm doing this, I'll always take some California sake and toss a little of that in there. And then 8 to 10 minutes, those bad boys will be done and opened up, and we're off to the wok. Okay, I've got some garlic in there toasting. I'm getting ready to do chicken and shrimp to go over the noodles I made earlier. So you just drop that right in there. Woks have to be extremely hot or else it doesn't work. So you get the chicken in there. And don't mind that garlic turning black like that. That's what it does. And then you toss your shrimp. And then it does not take very long to get this cooked. It's going to juice up real nice. Okay, it's been just about 3 minutes, and I'm going to turn the heat down on this. As you can see, it's done. I'm going to transfer it over here to a bowl. And that goes off to the side. You leave all those little tasty bits. You leave all those little tasty bits in the wok. You turn the wok back up to high. You're going to add just a smidgen of, I use high heat olive oil. You can use peanut oil. She works good too. I just prefer olive oil. It's better on the heart. Now we're going to add the vegetables that's going to go with that meat. Cabbage. And broccoli, which come out of the garden and was previously frozen and blanched. You'll toss that up around. Then we're going to add the peppers and onions. And just a dash of teriyaki. Toss a little garlic in there, just, you know, for good measure. And then black bean garlic sauce. Just a little tiny daub. So this is going to take about 4 or 5 minutes to cook. So we'll be back. Those mussels I put on 8 minutes ago is done. So I'm going to pull them up, open it up, make sure they opened it, and they did. Now I'm going to let that set right there. And in that 8 minutes time, I've got this on, it's almost come off, and the shrimp and chicken were done. Okay, I'm back again. This is ready to come off. I'll pull this off here. We'll go over here. Slide her right into the bowl. And when we're back, I'll have the noodles. I made the lo mein noodles earlier, and they've got olive oil on them, like I said. And then they just go right into the pan. Now the thing with stir frying the noodles, you got to be pretty quick about it. Some will stick, like right there. But you want to heat them back up. Right? You see it sticking? No worries. We'll clear that up with a little teriyaki and a little sake. And then what happens is there's that chicken and the shrimp. And then we just knock it out, right? The reason why my noodles are sticking is because I can't get this pan hot enough on an American stove. But you don't lose enough of them, and the noodles stay together, so, you know, you have to improvise, adapt, overcome, just like in life. So that's a quick fry. little chicken bouillon, not bouillon actually, but base. Pour that around. And then those will go right back into this bowl. Scrape it, stick it there, put the wok back on the fire. That is done. Now, in order to clean this wok off, all I'm going to do is let it cool, and then I'll start it back up, put water in it, boil the water in it, and it'll clean it right out. This is a lightweight cast iron Imusa wok. Okay, this is the last dish I'm preparing this evening for dinner, and this is 10 nice sized scallops. So what I got here is olive oil and butter, equal parts. The butter's been clarified. That means it's been cooked down to where there's no more water left in it. And then all you do is you set your scallops in there just like that. They kind of fart a little, but they stand up on their own. And it is a little flashy, as you can tell. It is a little bit of a high heat. We're going to let them cook for just a minute. Don't want to overcook a scallop. Trying to make sure they're not sticking. I don't use non-stick pans. Those things will kill you. And what you do is you have to heat your stainless steel pan up enough to where it becomes non-stick. And we'll come back in a minute or two when these are about to come off. Okay, now you can see I've already got them flipped. They're almost ready. And then in here I've got sake, a little bit of ginger, and garlic. And we're going to toss that right in there. Maybe catch something on fire, but it's alright, it'll go right out. You gotta see when I flambe mushrooms. You just slide them around in there. You notice they've shrank a little bit. Doesn't take very long. Nice and hot pan. Almost. And it does make a mess. Grease pops everywhere. If you're wearing glasses, you're going to get it on yourself, but that's just the hazards of knowing how to cook, I suppose. So we're done. All the sake has cooked off. Kill the heat. I am going to take them and place them all them fancy restaurants. Psh, charge you an arm and a leg for this stuff. Just teach yourself how to do it at home. And then you can play with it. Not hard at all. And then you take all them little tasty bits. You don't have to get it all. And then you just kind of pour that on the plate. You know, they're really good for you, but not the way I just cooked them. So you don't want to overindulge or anything. Now, everything else is going to be homemade, but I bought tempura shrimp already made because it can be a mess and it's a hassle. And I didn't want to fry it because this will be the only fried thing that we have this evening other than stir fried. And this will go good with sushi rice. Look at that issue. And then we just got some shrimp tempura. All right, last thing to go on the table are the mussels. And you can see they all open. We're gonna pour them all in here with the juice. You know, it's a pound of mussels, but there's a lot of shells in there. So here's everything prepared and on the table. We got our sushi sticky rice. It's actually just sushi rice. Tempura shrimp, shrimp chicken and noodles, teriyaki. Get the teriyaki vegetables off to the side. Got your scallops. And we got our mussels. And our teriyaki sauce. And wasabi and soy sauce. And I will put this on my rice. It's kimchi. It is pretty tasty. Well, I'm gonna dig in. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm really gonna enjoy it. Okay, and this is how I plated my plate. So I was inspired. I went down to Orlando to the Bondsmen's Conference a week and a half ago, or a couple weeks ago, and I ate at a place called Bahama Breeze, and their scallops were so small and sad. Their mussels were awful. The shrimp were tiny. It was just not a good experience, and they charge a, $20 a plate, $30, whatever it was. So I decided to do this, and we'll have leftovers. I might have 20, 25 bucks worth of stuff in here, but it's a meal for 4, possibly 5 or 6. So hope you guys liked the video. I know I haven't put one out in a long time. Let me know what you think in the comments. What would you pay for that?